Hello traders, Mark Chapman here, the creator of the trademark Trap Traders concepts. Welcome to today's Trap Traders Trade of the Day analysis. Today's date is Monday the 27th of March 2017, and the trade we're going to look at today is we've got a level, this is on the pound dollar, of resistance that's been touched several times. We're going to focus in, there's actually more touches off to the left, but we're going to focus in on this area in particular in just a second, and then price comes back into the level, and as you can see, started to sell off, and it would have looked like it had done at the hard rate edge. It would have looked like it had done historically when it sold off and made money, as it did in here, and obviously big time in there, etc. Now that's what tempts the trader in off the sidelines. If you just think about what's going on, right? I believe the markets to be like one big giant trapping mechanism, and if we take this red line as the hard right edge, okay, and the hard right edge is just basically the right hand side of the chart that we all have, but what happens is traders tend to focus, so they do the original analysis, that's key, the historical analysis, and then they focus very much in the price action in the here and now. And what happens is, if they get some type of confirming price action that almost legitimizes that historical analysis, then that's what's going to get them to come in off the sidelines and actually take some risk, because in the end, if they didn't believe that it was going to follow through, you know, they're not going to do that. So the account balance, whatever you've got in your account balance, is essentially safe, right? It just stays put, nobody gets into trouble, and your money's happy and safe in your account. But what makes you coming off the sidelines, and I believe that it's those elements that act like an optical illusion, if you will. So you've got the historical analysis that makes you think, oh, this could be a trade, and then when price comes up into the level, sort of your ears are pricked, right? You're aware, and you're thinking, will this react off the level as I think it might, based on that historical analysis? And it either does or it doesn't, right? But if it does, what happens is you don't tend to pay much mind to the hard right edge, okay? You basically just don't even think about it. The bottom line is this area is going to fill with price. It just requires some time, right? But for some reason, traders don't give it much thought. What happens is that ultra focus, as I said, to the level itself, and is it actually reacting off the level where you think that it may, and that's the final part to the puzzle, if you will. That's what actually gets you to come in and take some risk, because if your money's safe in your account, then it's safe in your account and nobody's going to get their hands on it. But how do we make money as traders, right? We take money, we've got to take it. Well, who's going to give it up that easy? These people, if you think about who your opponents are very intelligent people, multilingual, and successful business owners, well educated, you name it. They're not stupid people. So what is it that they're doing wrong? It's not that they're doing anything wrong, and certainly not in the eyes of them or in the eyes of people who ultimately takes money off them. They believe they're doing everything right. Right? A level that's been touched, several times, a level of resistance. The idea is that the more levels touched, the stronger it gets. So people believe that they're actually doing the right thing when they come in off the sidelines, and essentially the money's no longer safe. It's fair game, and it's the entry cheese, this area in here, the price action that provides the, if you like, the confirmation that they've got their analysis right, that this is actually going to work out as it had done here, etc., etc. It gets you to come in off the sidelines and actually take some risk. And now that your money's in the game, it's fair game, right? People can take it from you at that point. If it's safe in your account, no one gets the grubby little hands on it. And it's this process that convinces you in, that provides that optical illusion that makes you think, all right, this is actually working after all. But look what happened. Right? If you'd have done that, if you'd have acted on some candle formation at the hard right edge, some type of engulfing candle, or maybe you come in a little later, however, wherever you came in, the bottom line is you came in somewhere in that area, and now if you had done that, you'd be in trouble. Where you're placing your stops, just above these structures, most likely. This is the price action as it starts to squeeze you and go against you. This is where you start having that conversation with yourself. So here's your stop loss, right? And this is where you start having the conversation with yourself about cancelling the stop loss as it starts to come closer and closer to the realization that you're going to crystallize that loss and lose some money. Humans don't like doing that. So what tends to happen is they will avoid that process by cancelling the stop losses. Not everybody, and by the way, if not everybody does cancel the stop losses and price goes up through the stop losses, that's going to create demand anyway, right? Because those orders, if you go short, if you sell off there, then it's the opposite transaction to exit out of those positions. Ultimately it's automatic, but it is creating more demand. So net it's good news anyway for the trade. So the psychology of this is in play, meaning if you sold anywhere in this structure and you're holding on to this position, just think how you feel about this currently, right? You're definitely underwater, definitely losing money, can't be argued, not up for debate, end of story. You're losing, just to what degree you are, but ultimately you are, or you've already lost. That's it. If you were one of the individuals who went short off that level, and we know people go short off levels that are touched several times, because as I mentioned earlier, there's that false narrative that the more levels touch, the stronger it gets out there. So people definitely come in taking these trades off the levels. You can see them, right, to the trained eye, and as it comes across and starts squeezing them, then we know something about those traders in terms of the typical behavioural patterns that they'll do under those circumstances, i.e. they'll not want to take the loss. So this looks like a pretty good place if we get some type of a pullback to take a long trade. Also, I just want to focus in just finally on this area here. This is what is often referred to as an area of supply, where you have a rally and then a base in price and then a drop, right? And the reason for that is why wasn't it able to stay there? Supply must have outstripped demand. But then over here, that supply, if price is up in this area, must have gone. Can't be there anymore. Okay, so that helps with the idea that this is probably a decent trade to buy. Just make sure the dollar index is still fairly weak when you look at taking the entry on this trade. So if you'd like to join me in my brand new inner circle to understand these concepts, and I'll help you learn how to take advantage of the trading strategies out there that we've deconstructed and essentially hacked, so that we can see where these traders are, we can see where they're in trouble, losing money, and that's when we want to take some risk. I only ever want to enter when my opponents, so these people in here, are losing money. It only makes sense at that point for me to act. And the crazy thing about this is the only difference in this whole process is they didn't understand what I've just described, but also they just didn't wait, right? They were reactive, and they were coming in because they saw dollar signs or pound signs or euros at the hard right edge. They thought it was going to work, and indeed maybe they've got a little bit of profit in the account, right, as it dropped a little bit, but now it's going against them and nailing them, and they're losing money. So if you'd like to learn more, come and join me in my brand new inner circle, and I'll see you on the inside.